Hey guys, here's part two. So part one, we talked a little bit about the problems with seated posture all the time and looking at the cell phone all the time and how this is happening at younger and younger ages. Kids have cell phones now at 8, 9 years old, and they're already sitting way too much. And we talked about, what happens there and what the problems are. We also talked a little bit about physical pain, meaning joint pain, knee pain, low back pain, etc., and what happens there. All the same hormones are upregulated in the body that affect us with emotional pain. And so all the same problems are in play, right? We're going to have the same mental issues, we're going to have the same physical issues, we're going to have the same problems losing weight, etc., etc., etc. But let me just say very quickly, if you may say, well, what am I supposed to do? I have a job where I'm supposed to sit. Okay. In the UTC manuals, you will see that one of the things that is recommended most strongly is that if you have a seated job, buy a standing desk. Buy a standing desk. Okay. If you have no choice but to sit, make sure of a couple of things. One, make sure your computer screen is straight ahead. I have so many clients that work like this. They type and their head is like this all day long. Now, imagine 7, 8 hours, 5 or 6 days a week of your head turned to the right. Now, we can talk a little bit next week about what happens here vestibularly, meaning with your inner ear. So if your head is always turned to the right or tilted one way or another, this maps onto serious consequences in the body, which we will talk next week about. But so that brings me to my next point. If you're on the phone like this, most of the time, oh yeah, Mary, I heard what this is in many ways worse. Okay, now you're creating a situation where you're seeing the world both tilted and to the right. I assure you, this maps onto how you move throughout the day in more ways than you can imagine, and how the fascia in your body is actually being laid down within the body itself. Trust me, this is not debatable. This is an absolute truth. And I can't tell you how many clients we have who walk in the gym and look like this. This is their heads, and they'll be looking at me like this, and they don't realize that their head is like this or however. So this is fixable stuff over time, but it starts with just square the stuff up on your desk. Buy yourself a headset to talk into if you have to be on the phone a lot. These are all solutions. And I will just tell you, just flat out, throughout the years, we have given people some of the most basic solutions that will literally change their lives, literally increase the quality of their life for the better in ways that they can't really put into words, whether it be via supplementation, right? Literally just put these supplements in your mouth every morning and you're going to have a better quality of life. Or this conversation that I'm having about a standing desk or having a headset. I have people who have lived with shoulder pain for years, and then once you start to piece the picture together, oh, wait a minute, so you have a seated thing and your phone is like this, and this is how you live your life. Let's make these adjustments, and oh my gosh, for the first time, they're living without pain. And like I said, people that have pain for long periods of time, it absolutely does create a situation where they are living in a chronic state of depression for reasons that we've already covered in the past few seminars. So with a sense of urgency, think about what I'm saying here, right? How can we stand more than sit, which is really good for your hips, by the way. When our hips are meant to be weight bearing. How can we make sure that our heads stay square so that we're not constantly looking one way or the other? Now, that does not mean to not move your neck, okay? We want to move our necks. The point is that if we're always in one position for way too long and not the other, this is what creates the problem. Which leads me to my next point, which is so overlooked, everybody. What are we doing 7 to 8 hours a day without conscious effort? It's this thing called sleep. So if you're sleeping on like 2 big ass pillows where your neck looks like this when you're sleeping, this is a huge problem. You should sleep with 1 pillow, so that your neck is neutral. Okay, and now if you have lower back problems when you sleep, there are little hacks here. You could bring it up to me next week in the live seminar. I'm not going to go through all this, but I'm just making the point that when you sleep, you need to make sure that your neck is neutral. Whether you're sleeping on your right side or your left, your neck has to be neutral. Similarly, if you lay on your back, if you fall asleep laying on your back and your neck is really jacked up, this is the same type of problem. You shouldn't sleep on your belly. Most people definitely should not sleep on their stomach because it puts your lumbar into extreme extension. And for most people, that's bad news over the course of a long period of time. It also just creates this dynamic in your neck as well that's not healthy for you. But like I said, if you have more questions about sleep posture in terms of pain and getting rid of some of that stuff, there's so many things you can do to help yourself get out of pain literally while sleeping, whether that's plantar fasciitis or low back pain, whatever that may be. There are little things you could do. But the point here is that how you sleep may be mapping onto exactly the pain that we're trying to mitigate. Finally, another form of physical stress. It's the food you eat, everybody. How does that map onto physical stress? Simple. Food is a physical thing, and your digestive organs are also a physical thing. So when you chew food in your mouth, if you don't believe me, or if you don't see this connection, if you've ever had to have a root canal, or if you've ever had severe tooth pain, that's a physical thing, right? So the food that you chew starts off the health of your mouth. You're eating a lot of sugary garbage, I promise you, your teeth will let you know. But also, lots of sugary, salty, fatty stuff, your tongue will let you know. You will be desensitized to, amazing other foods, right? That are bitter and sour, and so that would be certain veggies and fermented foods and things of this nature. You're going to find those things disgusting, as well as certain textures. You're depriving yourself of amazing, beautiful things in life when it comes to food consumption. But like I said, it's going to find its way into your mouth in terms of tooth decay, gum decay, and tongue. The sensitivity of your tongue will be affected as well, right? So we want to have health there. We can just keep going down the line. I'm going to do an entire seminar on stomach acid, so I'm going to sort of skip the throat and the stomach for now, but just trust me, this is a huge topic which we will spend a live seminar covering in detail. But if you're somebody who's constantly taking, Pepsid AC and Zantac or any type of pill that is designed to reduce stomach acid, I suggest you come to that seminar. But then we go further down the line and we talk about our small intestine and large intestine and our colon. Okay, how food travels through there. We've talked a lot about the microbiome and the mucus lining and how guts get compromised in many, many seminars over the course of a long period of time. Way before it became fashionable to talk about it, we were talking about it. But to keep the video brief, and just so you understand where we're going to be going into the live seminar, understand that the food that you eat is in fact a physical stress that creates more physical stress in your body. And let me just give a very quick example here. And there are many, but I'll give a quick one. If you're somebody who has a compromised gut, it's very easy for certain foods to show up as like an allergic reaction. It looks like an allergic reaction in your skin, even if you're eating certain things that could be healthy for you, right? So you could be eating certain nightshade vegetables, tomatoes, eggplants, and these things now show up as rashes on your skin, or if you have really dry skin behind your ears, there's all itchiness, there's all kinds of things that can come out. But I'm telling you that I will bet my bottom dollar that it's because you have a compromised gut. And guts generally regenerate, like meaning the what you're putting into into your body and going through, we're really talking about a 3-day cycle. Now, some people have messed their guts up so badly over the course of time that fixing it, it's not going to be a matter of fixing it. It's going to be a matter of making sure it doesn't get worse. And those people would be the people who have abused laxatives in their life, or have had certain operations or whatever. We can get into that in a live seminar. But it is possible that your gut is so bad that it's never going to get better. But that's even more reason to be extremely focused on what to not eat. But the point here is that we all have some version of it. So if we keep eating garbage food, it's going to literally show on your skin. And I'm telling you that your gut lining it's massive. It's like the size of a tennis court if you laid it all out. That the quality of your gut lining, I promise you, has a similar quality as your own skin. So if your skin is all jacked up, right? If it's all dry, and if it's cracked, and if it's itchy, and if it's red, and that is exactly the same quality of tissue that is lining your gut wall. And we'll talk about that more later. But these are physical stresses, everybody. Food is a physical stress. And when food doesn't agree with you for all of the wrong reasons, it's going to be a physical stress on your physical structure as well. And yes, I'm talking about the skin. Does it go to other things as well? Heck yeah. We already talked about teeth, but what about your joints? Absolutely. Bones. What about eyes? Absolutely. All of these things come into play. So this is the context of what we'll be talking about next week in live seminars. And as I always do, I will continue to answer questions going into next week and continue to feed the topic little by little so that we can have another phenomenal conversation like we did last week. And I hope to see you all there. Once again, please thumbs up this video. Please share it with somebody that might benefit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the week.